Hello everyone! I've counted the votes, and the card you wanted me to talk about most is the Cabal Shadow Priest.
Let me change your mind.
Let's begin, shall we? The Cabal takes us back to the time where the Horde was formed and raised the war against the Draenei. The Orc warlock Gul'dan, he had sold his people into slavery by giving them demonic blood, and they used their might to murder every Draenei they could find. On the surface, the Horde was led by the War Chief Black Hand, while in truth it was actually Gul'dan and his Shadow Council that were pulling the strings from behind the curtains. Near the end of the war, the last major target was the city of Shevrev, where thousands of Draenei perished, sacrificing themselves to buy the rest of the people time to escape. A number of Vindicators, Priests and Rangari, they also survived the initial attack, and they retreated all the way to the tomb city of Auchindoun in the hopes of defending it from the Horde. Auchindoun was the holiest Draenei site on the world, and these defenders could not bear the thought of the orcs desecrating their ancestors or the Naru that housed within. Exarch Maladar, he organized the military forces that came to Auchindoun, they fortified the tomb city's catacombs, and they waited the inevitable Horde attack. Gul'dan was fully aware of the Draenei presence in Auchindoun, and he feared that they might call upon the spirits of the ancestors to wage war against the Horde. The Warlock decided to dispatch Teron'Gor and his most powerful Shadow Council agents to prevent this from happening. Teron'Gor and the other Warlocks, they stormed Auchindoun and met fierce resistance from the tomb's defenders. Though the Warlock's powers were mighty, so were the Draenei's light-given abilities. Maladar and his followers also received aid from Auchindoun's spirits. The Draenei, together with their ancestors, they slaughtered any of the Shadow Council's agents. Victory was slipping through the Shadow Council's grasp. As Maladar and his forces closed in, Teron'Gor called on all of his remaining allies. Using the new knowledge given to them by Kil'jaeden, the Warlocks pooled their powers together and they reached beyond the veil of reality. They hoped to summon a powerful demon into the world, one that would strike down their enemies, and in their wild desperation, the Warlocks summoned something far, far different. They summoned an otherworldly elemental creature known as Murmur, which materialized within Auchindoun, pulling to Draenor from a distant corner of the universe. The shockwave of its arrival, it ripped the earth asunder, it killed many of the Draenei, and it blasted apart the tomb city. Murmur's destructive energies, it rolled out from Auchindoun in waves and had leveled the surrounding forests. Exarch Maladar and a handful of his Draenei, they used their magics to shield themselves from the blast, and though they did survive that attack, they no longer had the numbers to resist the Shadow Council. Teron'Gor and his Warlocks, they overwhelmed the Draenei and bound them in chains. The Shadow Council then contained Murmur deep within Auchindoun, where a few of the Warlocks, they stayed in the tomb city to keep the creature from getting loose and wreaking havoc on the Horde. In the years that followed, the charred, lifeless land around Auchindoun that would become known as the Bone Waste, it would serve as a bitter reminder of all that the Draenei had lost. This is the reason why Auchindoun looks like it does today, Gul'dan's Warlocks setting Murmur free and causing massive devastation. It is there where we find the Cabal, the members of Gul'dan's Shadow Council that survived the devastation and set up base near Auchindoun. They were part of the story in the novel Beyond the Dark Portal, where Ner'zhul, Kil'jaeden and Teron'Gor Fiend, they were on the run from the Alliance troops as they were trying to stop Ner'zhul from creating more portals to invade different worlds. Ner'zhul and Gorfiend, they were actually surprised to find 4-Pill and Blackheart, but they were still loyal to the Horde and they offered their support. They did their very best to stop the Alliance. Kil'jaeden even lost his life in that place, but Ner'zhul and Gorfiend, they were able to escape and push forward with their plans. Skip ahead a few years during the Burning Crusade, and we got a chance to party in Outlands and deal with the Cabal directly. 4-Pill and Blackheart, they were bosses within the Shadow Labyrinth, and we even banished Murmur, the primordial essence of sound and a very powerful elemental. However, when we check out the members of the Cabal, we can see that it's mainly made up out of broken and orcs, which makes sense since the organization has always been located in Outlands. But the card in Hearthstone that shows a human female with the card description that says, "You never know who may be secretly working for the Cabal." Could it be that the organization is still spreading and now recruiting more members from different races? Maybe, but that's all I have for you today when it comes to the Cabal Shadow Priest, who uses their dark powers to take control of the weak-minded and turn them against their allies.
Obey.
As always, I'll leave it up to you guys and girls to decide what card we're going to talk about next. So leave your suggestions in the comments down below, and who knows, your card might be used in the next video. Subscribe if you like my videos, leave a like if you enjoyed this one, and until next time guys, see ya!